Basic English. We care youngsters. Welcome to my YouTube channel. What do you see in the picture? This is a bag. And what is the next? This is a tag. Third picture, what do you see? A bag with a tag. Okay. Tanzim is a student, isn't he? So, in this sentence, you can see there is a question. What is this? This is question tag. So, our today's topic is tag question. English grammar for S.S.C. English. Let's start. What do you see? You are Mahdi. Around you? Tag is what? Adding something with other. Tag means adding something with other. So, aren't you? Aren't. You are Mahdi. This is a sentence, and if you will tag a question is called tag question. So what is tag question? A tag question is a question that is used at the end of a sentence, a statement, to get the support from the listener. A tag question is a question that is used at the end of a statement to get the support from the listener. What is it? He is a computer operator. Computer operator. So, am is a, was a, they are also operator. Tag question operator is what? Am is a, was a, shall, will, should, would, can, could, may, might, have, has, had, must, ought, dare, need. They are tag question operator. Do, does, and did use in action verbs. If there is no operator, that means auxiliary verb, at that time you can use do, does, or did according to the verb, main verb. Okay. Tag question basic. Construction form of the operators. In tag question, before subject you never use two words. You have to use two words into one. At that time you have to use apostrophe instead of O. That means Aaron, I am not equal to what? Aren't or ain't you can use. You can use aren't or ain't, not am not. You never write am not, amount. Amount is not correct. You can use aren't or ain't. Is not. Is not is isn't. Are not means aren't. Was not means wasn't. And aren't, won't is very important. Will not is won't. And shall not equal to what? Shan't. Cannot, can't. Both are three. Will not, shall not, cannot. Both are three most important. Won't, shan't, can't. And could not means couldn't. May not means mayn't. Might not means might, mightn't. Must not, mustn't. Has not, hasn't. Have not, haven't. Had not, hadn't. Don't, do not, don't. Doesn't, does not, doesn't. Did not, didn't. Ought not, oughtn't. Dare not, daren't. Need not, needn't. They are used in take question as an operator. Remember it. So, Shihab was our good friend. So, what is the take question? Wasn't he, not she. Shihab is he. Wasn't he, not she. Okay. A structure in positive statement. If the sentence is positive, at that time you have to use negative operator. Mahdi is a truthful boy. At that time you have to use isn't he. So, a statement, Mahdi is a truthful boy, comma, and operator plus not plus subject. You never use subject as a noun. You have to use, instead of noun, you have to use pronoun plus question mark. So, your answer is isn't he. If the statement is positive, you have to use negative operator. So, Mahdi is a truthful boy. You have to use isn't he. Isn't he. Next. She is not my mother. The structure is what? This sentence is what? Negative. Negative statement. At that time, answer will be what? Positive operator. Affirmative operator. So, she is not my mother. You have to use what? Is she, like that. So, a statement, she is not my mother, it's a statement, comma, and operator plus subject as a pronoun. So, you have to use positive operator. Irihan is a small boy. Irihan is a small boy. So, what is the answer of this sentence? What will be the take question of this sentence? Take the question. So, answer will be what? Very good. Isn't he? Isn't he? The sentence is affirmative sentence, positive statement, and operator will be what? Negative. So, Is will be what? Isn't it? And you never use noun. You have to use what? Pronoun. So, Irihan is a small boy. And answer will be what? Isn't he? Isn't he? Okay. Add text to the following sentences. There are more sentences. Quickly write the answer of these sentences. Add text question. So, read the sentence. Rubina was a brilliant student. The sentence is positive statement. Affirmative sentence, isn't it? So, operator will be what? Negative. So, answer will be what? Wasn't she? Very good. Wasn't she? The answer is wasn't she. Number 2. You are not a player. You are not a player. So what is the answer? Very good. Or are you? Or are you? Number 3. They are our guests. What is the answer? Aren't they? Very good. We cannot do this now. So, what is the answer? Very good. Can we? Can we? Number 5. He may come tomorrow. What is the answer? Very good. Mayn't he? Number 6. We should not disobey our parents. What will be the answer? Very good. Should we? Should we? Very good. Number 7. You could do it easily. You could do it easily. So what will be the answer? Couldn't you? Couldn't you? Couldn't you? Number 8. They must not play bad. They must not play bad. So, what is the answer? The statement is what? Negative statement. At that time you have to use positive operator. That means must they. Must they. Number 9. I have a pen. I have a pen. So what is the answer? The answer is haven't I? Oh yeah. There have is main verb. You can use haven't when I have done the work. At that time you can use haven't I. But there have is action verb. At that time you can use do. Don't I. Number 10. You had better go now. You had better go. So, hadn't you? Hadn't you? Very good. Wonderful. How will you add take if there is no operator in this sentence? If there is no operator, at that time what you will do? This sentence, my mother cooks very well. There is no operator, isn't it? am is there is no operator. At that time you have to use what? Do will be does if there is S/es after verb, and the verb is, if the verb is past tense, at that time you have to use what? Very good, did. Do will be did. So do, does, did will be used after what? Comma. That means as a operator. As an operator you have to use do, did or does. Okay, so my mother cooks very well. There is no operator. At that time you have to bring what? Do, does, did. So there is cooks as, so doesn't she is the answer. We play football regularly. So there are play is the main verb and no operator. So do will come, don't we? Wonderful. He went to market yesterday. So what will be the answer? Very good. The answer is what? Didn't he? As the main verb is past form, you have to use did. Didn't he? So if there is B1 with S/es, you have to use doesn't or does. If the verb will be without S/es, at that time you have to use don't or do, or base form you will see. If you find V2, that means past form, at that time you have to use didn't or did as operator. Right. So every mother loves her child. Not mother. If there will be mother, at the time you can use she. But every is here. So what will be the answer? No. You never use she. If there will be every or everybody or every mother or everyone, no one, at that time subject will be what? They. So don't they. Answer will be don't they, as there is every. So every mother loves her child. Your answer will be what? Don't they. Oh, someone are thinking it will be doesn't, as there is loves, right? Thank you. But you have to remember their subject will be what? They. Have you heard any time? Doesn't they? No. You never use they doesn't. You can use they don't. Every mother is singular. At that time they have used loves. But you have to use they. So you never write doesn't. So be careful. In S.S.C exam, you may suffer much if you not understand the rules. As you will use they, you will transfer does into do. You never use does for they. Okay, let's see more. Today it's raining heavily, isn't it? They are taking class in flood, isn't it? Water everywhere. But they did not stop their learning. Never give up learning, though there is a flood area. Okay. Nobody believes a liar. So, answer will be what? Do they. Never write does. As there will be they, answer will be they. So, what will be? Do. Nobody believes a liar. You have to use do they, not does they. Nobody, everybody equal to they. So, you never use does with they. So, it will be transferred into what? Do they. Right. Exception. There is exception we have seen. If you find S/es after everybody, everyone, nobody, no one, somebody, someone, one, or none, isn't it? The above rules will not be effective. What we learn? In that place, you have to add don't they or do they. For everybody, you have to use don't they. For nobody or no one, you have to use do they. So, never write doesn't. Example is here. Everyone respects him. Everyone respects him. So, what is the answer? Oh, fine. Don't they. Everyone respects him. Don't they. Wonderful. Never write doesn't, as you have to use they. Nobody likes a man of bad temper. Right? Like Halim Sir, isn't it? Some of you are thinking Halim Sir is a very bad tempered teacher, isn't it? Oh, because Halim Sir do not like what? Yeah, I don't like what? Misdeed. Because I love you, I love your future. For this reason, if you make mistakes, I never feel easy. At that time, I try to save from this misdeed or wrong activities, because today's wrong activities will be the big liar or big activities in future. So I try to save you from wrong path. Okay, so nobody likes a man of bad temper. So what is it? Fine. Do they. Answer is what? Do they. Wonderful. Wonderful. Notice carefully. Never, rarely, seldom, hardly, barely, scarcely, and you will have some words like little, few. They are treated as negative, though they appears to be positive. Isn't it? He never came here again. There is no not, isn't it? You will not get any not in this sentence. But never is what? Negative. Negative operator. Negative word. So, never, rarely, scarcely, seldom, hardly, barely, they are used instead of what? Not. So, you have to be very much careful for this. So, he never came again. Did he? You never use not, as there is never. She can rarely come these days. So, rarely is here. So, rarely is also like not. So, you have to use positive operator. Can she? You hardly ever came late. So, what will be? Did you? Did you? As there is came, did you. Never write not, as there is hardly word. Hardly is negative word. And barely, very much important for your S.S.C exam. I saw many students make mistake. I barely know you. I barely know you. It is negative sentence at all. So, do I? You would scarcely respect her to come. So, this is also what would you? Would you use the answer? Fine. More exception, you will see. I told you, I have a few money. You can use don't and haven't. Only for a few. If there will be few, I have few money. At that time, you have to use positive operator. You never write negative operator. Isn't it? As you have got a few, that means a few means positive sentence, positive statement. At that time you have to use not, haven't or don't. But if there will be only few, at that time it is negative. I have few money. I have few money. At that time you have to use what? Yeah, you have to use positive operator. That means do I, not do not, don't. Only you have to use do I or have I. So, a few, a is important. For a, it is positive statement. If it will be without a, that means only few, at that time you have to use positive operator. Yeah. A few, a little. Little is also affirmative. A few, a little is what? Yeah, affirmative. And only few and little is negative, right? So, there is little water in the jar. So, the statement is what? Wonderful. The statement is positive statement, right? So, your operator will be what? Negative operator, isn't there? But there is little water in the jar. At that time, without a means what? Negative statement. So, you have to use what? Positive operator. That means is there. Wonderful. Very nice. Sometimes I need your help, don't I? It's also important. If need will be the main verb, at that time you have to use don't. But if sometimes you will have need not, at that time answer will be what? Need will be operator. Okay. Now needs, that means doesn't she? She needs, doesn't she? But you need not worry. Oh, excellent sentence. I need your help is affirmative statement, isn't it? There is not no, but this sentence you need not worry. So negative statement. At that time you have to use need as an operator. I need not go there. So need I, not don't. As only auxiliary verb, that means am is a, you can use not. If you use need not at that time, it will be operator. That means need you or need I. So action verb is what? Do for need. And don't you can use also. But if there is need as a model verb, at that time you have to use need plus subject. That means pronoun. Okay. If I had any scope, I would visit London. So what will be? Wouldn't I? Isn't it? Someone can say, sir, it means I had. No, I had visited at the time. If you will say I had visited at the time, you can use hadn't I. But it plus what? Base form. That means be1. At that time you have to use negative operator for would. It is not had. Last year I had visited London. Last year I had visited London. Yes. So it is what? Hadn't I. First one is visit. So it will be what? Would. I would visit. In last sentence, I would visited. So it is had. So hadn't I. Wonderful. So you have to remember, I'd visit means I would. That means be1. And I'd visited, I had. V3. Wonderful. So in subordinate clause, you will see if plus perfect tense, at the time you can use would, I would. Sorry. If plus past form, it is second conditional. If plus past form, at that time you can use subject plus would, could, might, like that. So subordinate clause is here and principal clause is here. So you have to use wouldn't I. Only principal clause is used for take question, not from subordinate clause. Okay. Take question is take question in imperative sentence. If you will get imperative sentence at the time, what will you do? That means follow me. If you use verb in a sentence, at the time it is imperative sentence. So at that time the answer will be what? Will you, right? Will you? Don't stop. At that time, will you, isn't it? Go on, will you? If the sentence starts with what? Present form or with verb, at that time you can use will you. Please help me. What? Will you? Because it is also started with verb. Kindly do me a favor. It's also imperative sentence. At the time you can use will you. Okay. But sometimes you will see imperative sentence starts with let. That means only for you, you should open the door. At that time you can use open the door, not you should. You will get two kinds of sentences for imperative sentence. Start with verb and start with let. Right. At that time, for imperative sentence, you can use will you, isn't it? Let me say something. Will you? You can use will you. Let him go is also will you. For imperative sentence, you have to use will you. Will you? Let them enjoy the game. It's also will you. Right. But exception what? Let's. That means let us. At that time you have to use shall we. If the sentence is let's or let us, at that time you have to use shall we. Shall we. For let's and let us. Without let's and let us, everywhere let him, let me, everywhere you can use what will you. Wonderful. So let's means let's settle the matter. At that time you have to use shall we. Let's go out for a walk. Let's go out for a walk. It's also let's means let us. So answer will be what? Shall we. Goodbye. What is it? I bet. Goodbye. Goodbye means what? Farewell, isn't it? At that time you can use don't I. Remember, very much exceptional. Goodbye. I bid goodbye. At that time, as there is what? I bid. I bid goodbye. At that time you have to use don't I. Hassan. Only Hassan. If the sentence is Rahim, Sanzim, Shihab, Mahdi, at that time only name you can also isn't he? As Hassan means he is Hassan, isn't it? At that time you can use isn't he. Right. Who cares? Who cares means nobody cares. At that time do they. Remember it. Very much important. Very much important. Who cares? Who cares? That means nobody care. Nobody cares. At that time you have to use do they. And sometime you will get happy birthday to you. Isn't it? At that time you have to use also what? Do I? Don't I? Like that. That kind of sentence. Is it? Yeah. Yeah means yes it is. So you have to use isn't it? Yes. No. No it is not. So you have to use is it? For yes you have to use isn't it? For no, you have to use is it. Very much important. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, thank you. I bid or wish or say, at that time you have to use what? Don't I? Okay. Mahir is a goodbye. He goes to school regularly. Everybody loves him. Once he went to visit Cox's Bazar. As he became ill, he could not visit Saint Martin. He told his friends, let's go back to Dhaka. So, it's your turn to write your answer. Add tag in every sentence of the following sentence. Write the answer. So what will be? First one, isn't he? Number two, he goes, doesn't he? Very good. Everybody laughs. What will be? Wonderful. Don't they? And he went, didn't he? He could not visit. He could not visit. So, could he? He told his friends at that time, let's go back to Dhaka. So, shall we? Shall we? Right. Homework. Write a short paragraph about yourself in 5 to 6 sentences in different tenses. Then add tag to each sentence with be, model, let, action verb and exceptional use of tags. Thank you for being with me. Dear viewers, write your feelings to the comment box of this video or my Facebook page, Halim Sir. Thank you. Goodbye.